Hey, it's Conor here in Vienna. And behind we got Maria Teresa, the Empress of the Habsburg Empire, and behind one of the Habsburg palaces. Vienna is the home of the coffee shop. It was said that during the Turkish siege of Vienna back in the 15th century was when the first coffee shop was opened here in Vienna. And coffee shop was a place where people went and met each other and talked about life, talked about business, and began to share. And what I want to talk about this week is the 3 levels of innovation. And a couple of years ago I had the privilege of speaking on stage before or after Ferran Adria. Ferran Adria is the most famous Spanish chef. He was the chef of the Bulli restaurant that for many years was the #1 restaurant in all the world. And Ferran Adria said there's 3 levels of innovation. First level is to take something that already exists. So you take a glass and add something. So you add a feature to an already existing object. So if you take a glass and put a handle, you now have a container that can hold hot objects. So that would be level 1 innovation. Level 2 innovation is taking 2 different categories and jamming them together. So if you have a motor and a bicycle and you jam them together, what you get is a motorbike. It's level 3 innovation that really moves humanity forward. Level 1 and level 2, we're pretty good at predicting where they will get us to. We're pretty good at seeing how the future will be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. But level 3 innovation is what really changes how humanity develops. If you look at a Star Trek movie of the 1960s and you look at the bridge deck of the Starship Enterprise, what you'll see is there's wood and there's metal, but there's no plastic. Because in the 1960s, plastic had not yet become this ubiquitous product. It was an accidental byproduct of processing diesel and petrol. And all of the major advances in human civilization have been this level 3. And a level 3 innovation is an accident. It's something that we cannot predict. And in fact, the expert is almost the worst placed person to see. One example, penicillin. Dr. Fleming was trying to do something else, and he picked up the Petri dish and found that there was no bacteria. And it was a problem. He was about to throw it out, but it was lucky that he saw what this accident meant. He saw that there was something in this Petri dish that had killed off the bacteria, and that's how we discovered penicillin. But it was a level 3 innovation. Dr. Fleming was not looking for penicillin. The discoverer of plastic was not looking for plastic. They were looking to get a more effective and efficient process for refining petrol and diesel from the crude oil. And all level 3 innovation is essentially by accident, by exploring, by listening to ideas, by putting things together, by combining, and being willing to be surprised by what comes out. Ferran Adria says that in his own restaurant, Del Bulli, the way they allow this level 3 innovation process to happen is, one example he talked about is they recreated an apple. So an apple, today you could go to a tree, pick off an apple, and you've got an apple. And Ferran Adria and his team of chefs and technicians in the Bulli restaurant spent 5 years recreating machines that would make pulp like the center of the apple, machines that would make a surface like the skin of an apple, machines that could make the stalk of an apple, and something to make the seeds of an apple. It took them 5 years to develop each of these things. So at the end of 5 years, they recreated an apple that looked and tasted exactly like the apple that you could pull off a tree. But he said that's not the purpose. It's the 5,000 accidental byproducts and things that they created by accident on the way to creating the apple. That's what the real innovation is. So level 3 innovation comes by being open to accident, being open to listen to people, being open to being in coffee shops and overhearing ideas that are different than yours, ideas that are almost absurd and strange. Conor, Hopefully the sound this week is much better. After 7 months of making these weekly videos, finally I've bought myself a microphone, and thanks to Christoph Magnuson, my little Zoom H1 recording device, I very much hope after all those weeks and months of comments letting me know that the videos are great, the ideas are great, but the sound is terrible, that this month, this week, we start to get the sound a bit better. Have a great week. It's over and out from Vienna.